And that's where the whole wrestling God thing came up. It's because I'd been drinking, and I was talking to Teddy Long, who I love bantering with, and I said, Teddy, I'm a god, and I'm a wrestling god, and I'm a wrestling god. I just kept saying it because I'd been drinking, and then the next week somebody came out, they had signs that were a wrestling god, so that's how the whole thing came about. So I think I named myself. I'm not sure. I'm not sure you can do that.
Let's hear it for the legends themselves, the APA, John Bradshaw, Layfield, Ron Simmons. Let's hear it for them.
Good to see you again, sir. Pleasure to see you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Simmons, anywhere you like.
We have one mic between us.
Well, they said that they wanted you guys to share one. I don't know why, but I can give you this. I'm very loud, so I can give you this if you like.
Tag team, so.
Yeah.
No worries.
Tag team back again. Oh, wait, no.
All right.
First and foremost, thank you both so much for being here. Two absolute legends. We were giving nothing but sending you guys your flowers before we came out here. What is it like just to be, I know you went by the wrestling god, but how does it feel when you come out and you see these fans here who are in it, who are like, yes, this is our guy?
I'm sorry. So, and the question was?
The question is, what is it like being a wrestling god?
Well,
what's it like getting that validation from the fans?
How I got the name, the wrestling god. We were backstage, and some match had gone short or something. I remember what it was. And back in the day, they'd have beer in the back, and different things. So we, especially when Steve was there. In fact, one time, me and Ron were drinking a bunch of beer, and they told us, "You guys are drinking Steve's beer." Oh shit! We snuck out. We did. We're just gonna leave. Yeah, we drank Stone Cold's beer. All of it. All of it. We did. True story. So we're backstage and we're having some beers. I was on early or something that night, and they said, "Oh my God, a match has gone short. We need to do something to kill some time." And they said, "Would you just do like a celebration something?" And I said, "Guys, I've been drinking." They go, "That's okay. You're celebrating. Just do what you normally do." And I go, "Okay." So I had the Bashams there, had Orlando Jordan, and that's where the whole wrestling God thing came up. It's because I'd been drinking, and I was talking to Teddy Long, who I love bantering with, and I said, Teddy, I'm a god, and I'm a wrestling god, and I'm a wrestling god. I just kept saying it because I'd been drinking, and then the next week somebody came out, they had signs that were a wrestling god, so that's how the whole thing came about. So I think I named myself. I'm not sure. I'm not sure you can do that.
Where all the best nicknames come from. Amazing. Now, folks, I do want to let you know, like I said, I'm not here to maximize your time or theirs. If you have any questions, throw up your hand. I'll come right over. You guys can, I'm coming right to you, and it'll be that way. You guys okay for that?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
That's what it's about.
All right, I'll get you third, okay? My friend.
How are we doing today?
Good.
I got a question for Mr. Layfield. A few weeks ago on your podcast, well, it's not your podcast, I guess it's Bruce's, but episode 475, titled The Godfather, you said...
We did a podcast about The Godfather. Oh, yeah.
You said...
Yeah,
so,
we can only tell about 20% of the stories. And that's on an R-rated podcast. We can only tell 20% of the stories.
This is a direct quote. So we were in Buffalo, and me and Ron had gone out, and Buffalo, it's like Iowa, birds fly upside down because there's nothing worth shitting on in Buffalo. And so we go out, Buffalo, it's just horrible because it's Buffalo. Welcome to Buffalo, Mr. Layfield.
Yeah, thank you very much. And you did say that birds fly upside down because there's nothing worth shitting on.
That is what you said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we never had a good time in Buffalo. We never. We'd go out. That's why we went to Godfather's room that night, because we'd been out and we were bored, and we went to Godfather's room and said, "Get up, we're going to smoke with you." And like dummies, he got up, and an hour later we were begging him to leave. We just dumbest thing we've ever done in our life.
Well, and then I think part of it is this: every time that we've come here, we have intentions of going out in Buffalo. Okay, see, we don't even know what's in Buffalo. because we never make it out of the hotel, right? And we never made it out of the hotel, and particularly when we get around Godfather. Somehow he tricks us into doing shit we don't want, have no idea what we're doing. We're out of our element when it comes to smoking stuff, okay? Now, all the drinks and stuff you throw in front of us, brother, we are a master's
We'll be up forever.
okay? But we have no idea when it comes to that. So therefore, that's what I think you're probably referring to when it comes to Buffalo, because we don't know what the hell is in Buffalo. Yeah, so I think that's basically what you're...
That's actually
you know?
That's actually what it was. The only place I actually hate is Oklahoma, so I hate Oklahoma. Yeah.
Nobody likes the Sooners.
Yeah. Buffalo I like. I was just saying that to be funny. Iowa birds do fly upside down because there's nothing worth shitting on in Iowa. Iowa sucks. And Oklahoma's just a horrible place. Now
Wait a minute, though. You know we've got to go there next.
Oh, that's right. We got to go next month. It's being filmed. Yeah, fuck you, Iowa. Yeah. You know, but in fairness, in Oklahoma, there is some really good meth labs and bingo parties. And I hear...
Hey, let's stop. That's enough. Let's stop it. We'll have every Sooner on the land when we get there. Let's just stop while we're here. Okay? Hey, go to the next guy.
Yeah. No more questions for me.
All right, so the rest of the questions just for JBL. Next.
Hi, longtime fan of both of your works across so many different incarnations and organizations. And while you have so many classic moments that we rewatch, and I'm sure you hear about, especially at events like this, people get to relive it and see it. I'm curious for both of you, whether as a tag team or in your solo careers, do you have any matches you're particularly proud of that you wish were more well known?
That's a great question. And yeah, there are a few. You know, I had some in Europe that nobody ever saw. You know, I worked with Finley over there, Tony St. Clair, who was a great worker, Luc Poirier, who was an incredibly underrated worker in Europe, wrestled as Rambo over there, worked in Japan a lot where nobody saw him in the matches against Tenryu and Choshu and Kendo Nagasaki and a bunch of guys. Nobody ever saw those matches. And I thought they were good. Now, if I watched them back, that made me realize I was sucked. But, you know, yeah, there's a lot of things like that nobody really saw because it was just in a place that didn't either film it or there wasn't a lot of presence for what they had.
Yeah, and that is it's a very good question. But in fairness in answering the question is that in this business, right, and when you've done extensive traveling like myself and John has, right, you go to places where you would never dream of. And you can go there and have what we would consider to be absolute perfect when it comes to the business match. And it might be in front of 10 people, you know, but to us, it was fantastic and no one sees it, you know, because there's no media or anything like that. But speaking of matches that you all have seen and in situations where we've been in, I've had the good fortune of being tagged up with a lot of good people, you know, but I can vehemently say that the enjoyment of working and being in the ring with someone, you know, that you really love and care about was when we got together as tag partners, you know? Yeah, so that's when everything comes together that everybody in this business dream of, you know? Great person to work with, great friend, and enjoying what you do, you know? So, yeah, to answer your question, that's more like it, you know? Yes.
Great question.
Hey, and to give a little more feedback on that, you know, you look at the great tag teams of all time. You know, most of them were brother tag teams. You know, you had Harlem Heat was a great tag team. The Steiner brothers were a great tag team. The Briscoe brothers, the Funk brothers, you know, the Hardy brothers, you know, and Ron and I were pretty much the same. It was like we were brothers, you know, because you got to have a feel for the person you're out there with. You got to generally care about them, you know. The Road Warriors didn't really like each other. You know, Animal and Hawk didn't get along. That's very unusual that teams that didn't like each other could be great teams. But, you know, for me and Ron, it was just a natural fit. It was like...
Do you remember the first time you both met each other? And what was that like? What was that encounter like?
In the bar.
Yeah, in the bar.
Well, Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
We don't remember the 90s. They say if you remember the 90s, you didn't do it right. We did it right.
I thought that whole decade wasn't even a thing. I thought that was a fake.
You can add most of the 80s in there and a lot of the 2000s.
Oh yeah, right over here. You got it, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Simmons, you guys have been one of my favorite tag teams. I was actually telling a guy out in the hallway a story about you guys. But you've been in a lot of good groups, and like whenever things went south, you always seem to have been the guy who like took the brunt of that. And there's a night in particular, I can't remember if it was a Friday or a Thursday. I can't remember if it was Bischoff or Heyman. But you guys worked a SmackDown tag team match. It was your last match as a tag team. They said, if you guys lose, you're out. And the segment ends where it was either Heyman or Bischoff. And he says to John, I wasn't talking about you. And you're looking at him. You're like, come on, man, let's go. And Bradshaw looks at you, was like, come on, man, I got kids, I got a family. As a child, that moment broke my heart. Like,
Well, see that? And you know what? And that is exactly what we were reaching for. See, if you don't feel anything out of what you're doing, and I think that's what's like in today. See, that's what we're trying to tap into. The emotions like you just described. That's what this business is about, you know? So, yeah. So now that it resonates with you now, speaks volumes of what we were trying to do, you know? Right, but we're here now to give you your heart back.
That's right.
Yeah, we're here now to give you, look, see how things work? We're giving you your enlightenment back.
That's right.
Okay? You're personally getting back now from Dave
That's
VA.
right.
You know?
That's right.
Yeah.
and I just want to know, right? And I know, like as a kid, I didn't know it was, what it was, but like in that moment, what were you guys thinking? Like, I stopped watching for like weeks. I could not get behind it anymore.
To be honest,
you were
with
the last great team.
What we probably were thinking, I know what I was thinking. Let's see. All right, the segment ends in about 3 minutes. I've got 2.5 hours to get dressed and get downstairs to that bar. Yeah, but that's very good. I'm glad you brought that up. Right, and that's a compliment to us. Thank you. Now
I'm pretty excited to have this next person ask you a question, just because beforehand, everyone does the damn thing to you, I'm sure. Out of this crowd, the one person I didn't think that was going to nail it, that did it the best, has the next question.
And I'm putting the pressure on.
So this is
No. Do it.
Oh, do the thing.
Yeah.
That's too early for that. We got to No. See, that's reserved for toward the end. So we're going to give you that microphone back at the end of this. Okay? That's an ending with that. All right? So we don't want to take away your thunder yet.
Okay.
All right? Let the other questions go about
All right.
first, then you give that. Because, see, I want to give you that moment. Now, since he said he's already boast about you. See, I don't want that to be a letdown.
I won't let you down, I promise.
So you let the other ones ask those questions. Then at the end, I want to hear it then.
All right, I got you.
So you can ask your question, but not the damn yet.
I got you.
Okay.
So this is a question for the both of you guys. What was running through your heads when you guys found out you were winning your first world championships?
Man, what do you think, John?
Well, it's different. When I'd been around a long time, I'd wrestled a long time. I always wanted to have the chance at it, and all of a sudden I'm getting the opportunity for it. And thanks a lot to Eddie Guerrero, and thanks a lot to Ron and how he set me up, to have that heel run. But there's no comparison between the championships. I became champion, and I got to hold the title for quite a while. But I didn't break a barrier. I didn't break a record. Ron broke a barrier, and that's historic. Ron's our Jackie Robinson. And so there's no comparison between the championships, because Ron's historic.
Yeah, and to expound more on what you're saying, look, don't ever let anyone sell you short, in this business, right? It doesn't matter what the title covered and what it covers and what's the name of it. Everyone in this business strives to get them belts around their waist. Okay, it's a milestone. In your career. You work hard, man, in the gym where nobody sees you, no lights, camera, none of that. So when you get that belt around your waist, and I can recall now the first time that and it might have been the TV belt in Florida, right? And I was just getting started. I must have sat up all night looking at it, and that's the truth. because it was like a big step, right. So, yeah, it means a lot, yeah.
Oh, okay. I got her.
I got to tell you how much it means to some people. We walked by a hotel room on the ground floor one time. We look in there and we see Godfather in there. He just won the Intercontinental Championship, and he's standing there buck naked in the middle of the day, and he's sitting there, and he's in pretty good shape, and he's sitting there buck naked with the Intercontinental Championship on. And he's smoking a joint in the mirror, and he's flexing his abs. And me and Ron are just looking in the window, and finally he looks around and sees us, and all he does is he just waves. It's not like he covers up. He's buck naked. He just waves at us. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I was wondering what some of your favorite APA bar fights were.
Oh my God! Wow. What? We had so many of them, right? And you know what? And that is, listen, that's a really good question, right? Now, Timmy. Right? Yeah, remember the referee, Timmy, right? He was absolute great guy and a great referee, but he had some connection backstage with the writers. He would always want to get in their ear, right? Hey, are we going to do a segment with John and Ron there? You can tear up my bar again. See, every time he needed new stereo equipment or new bar equipment, right? And he would come to us when we were getting ready to have a fight scene in this bar. Hey, don't forget to get the stool over to the right. Be sure to break the jukebox.
That's right.
Right. And so we would have to target, the jukebox and everything. And then to make matters worse, and after we get through doing all of that, and we will go up to the bar exhausted. Hey, Timmy, could you let us both have a beer? Well, Ron and John, I'm going to tell you, it's going to cost you half off. Well,
what do you do? Free beer?
No.
Get him all free furniture. There you go, sir.
How was the transition going from the Acolytes into the APA, and whose idea was it for the vignettes and the poker table and all that?
Oh, that was easy.
Yeah, that was just us. We didn't. I don't think we even knew what the Acolytes were. They put us in this kind of this crazy gimmick, almost like whatever it was. It's like something from the Book of Necronomicon or something. And we didn't know we had no idea what that was. We were happy to be working together. We were happy to be with Taker. That was cool.
Yeah,
but
we knew it absolutely fit us.
Yeah. And then they put us in the APA, and that fit like a glove. That was easy. Yeah. We understood that very well.
Very well. And to be honest with you, right? They didn't have to really write any of it for us. All they had to do was give us just an outline of what they wanted out of the segment, because it was a natural thing for us, And that is a wonderful thing to be in when you have that kind of characters that you don't even have to just go walking back and forth studying what to say, Right, all they had to do was just tell us what do you want out of it. And that's why it came across so natural for us,
Yeah, they literally wrote nothing for us. They just told us what we wanted. We were in L.A. at the Staples Center one time, and Tommy Blancha, who wrote a bunch of our stuff, really creative writer, he goes, guys, we got to get this right this time. I said, why are we going live? They go, no, you're slurring your words. We had sat back there and got drunk.
Love it.
We were method actors.
Yeah, very method.
Yeah.
How you doing, guys? Ron, you're amazing as always. Damn. Right. Yeah. So you guys were the Accolades, and you were with Jackie for a while, and they had the protection agency. Well, what was it like when they split you up and they made Bradshaw Layfield and gave him all the money and everything, and they had you just going around saying "damn"?
It was a wonderful thing.
It was?
Yeah. We 6-7 years, right?
Yeah.
Hey, bro, that is an absolute fantastic run, right? And my accomplishments, I've done most of everything I wanted to do. In the business, I'm satisfied, and from the things that I've done and the guys I've been with, it's wonderful to see all of them You know, go on and do their own things. You understand? See, that's the nature of this, is not to try to hinder someone. I come up through an era where if you wasn't tagging together, all of us, the business didn't thrive. You know, and so that's the way I was taught, you know, up the next man. You understand? So that was time for all of them. Mark Henry, John, when it split up and his thing went up, Mark Henry, Godfather, Savio, all the guys. So it's a wonderful thing to see that happens for me, you know. So yeah, that's how that went down.
Yeah, look at all the guys Ron mentored. You know, he had The Rock in there too. They put The Rock with Ron because they wanted Ron to mentor The Rock. You know, they've called Rock from Florida State when they have a problem with some players, the guys you would know, and ask him to talk to them. That's the kind of respect that Ron has. You know, Ron has mentored a lot of people that have been very successful, and it says a lot about Ron.
Absolutely. Absolute legend. Oh, right there, sorry.
So I had asked you guys upstairs about your backstage segments as the APA when you guys had the little office and stuff, and how many takes it would take you guys. But who was your favorite person to interact with in those segments backstage?
Man, we had a great time.
Because I mean, The Rock is by far my favorite interaction of him walking around your door and you guys getting angry with him and making him go back to knock on the door.
Yeah, and The Rock was cool about it. You know, he played along with us. You know, he could have been a diva, and he could have done, he could have acted like he's above it. He played right along with it and sold the whole thing, sold the door. He was, he's a great guy to be out there with.
Was that an accident that he walked past the door, or was that on purpose?
I have no idea. I don't remember. I mean, literally so much stuff was on the fly back then that, we just did stuff. And Rock is a great guy, obviously, but ad-lib guy that could do anything, so. He's not going to be shocked by something. One of the guys we had a lot of fun with was Joe C. The little guy with Kid Rock, and Briscoe thought he was a child, and we were giving him beers because he's 30 years old.
What did he tell us? Hey, you can't.
Hey, you can't get that little kid.
What Josie tell him? Hey, what you calling me kid, your mother?
Oh yeah. Hey, and Hornswoggle said that to Rock. Rock thought Hornswoggle was a Make-A-Wish kid. Yeah. He comes back and Hornswoggle's so happy to meet The Rock, and he goes, "Oh my God, it's The Rock!" And Rock says, "Hey, you have a good time today, little fella?" True story.
That's amazing.
Had him on the top of the head.
That's really funny.
That's amazing.
So nowadays we see John going to all these wrestling promotions, giving everyone a clothesline from hell. So how did that come to fruition? Like, what was the idea? Like,
I was bored. Seriously, I got bored during COVID, and Vince is no longer at WWE, and I wanted to go do stuff with Ron and do things. And somebody asked me to do a clothesline one day, and it just started happening. It just. Literally, I called WWE. I said, I'm so freaking bored, I don't know what to do. And they go, "What do you want to do?" I go, "I want to go do stuff with Ron. I want to go do things and have some fun." And that's how the whole thing started.
But it just tells you what a different age we're living in now, okay? I got to tell you, if I'm out there and I'm working on a show somewhere, I am damn sure not going to call him to come in and clothesline me, okay? They're literally calling him to come in, and I'm sitting there thinking, what the are these people thinking? And I've seen this, okay? Close, first hand, the decapitations, okay? Right. And I can assure you, every one of those guys that he has done that to has gone back in their dressing room like, what the hell was I thinking?
So you talked a lot about the mentorship, and you both have been great mentors for up-and-coming wrestlers. But as an outside spectator, who grabs your eye? Who's grabbing your attention from the up-and-comers right now?
Oh, man, oh, my God, there's so many of them. And it's hard to just pinpoint because once I grasp on and look at he or she, right then I see a dozen more, that look like that. And what you try to do, man, is that even in the traveling that we do, you always, it was done for me. Mm-hmm. Dusty, my God, Walt McDaniels, all these guys that I had the opportunity to come up with, all of the founding fathers, like I like to speak a little bit of, right, gave me that advice. So I'm just really, really thankful that I'm at this position You know what I mean? To be able to do that, man, and give back like that. You know,
amazing.
right? Yeah, but there's so many of them. To be honest with you, man, and you try to give a little bit of advice in any way you can. You know, yeah.
Never stop teaching. Never stop mentoring. By the sounds of it.
You know.
How about you, JBL?
These guys have incredible talent, incredible athletes. You know, a lot of the style is not the style that I prefer, but you know, they're drawing huge crowds, so they're doing something really right. I love this Jacob Faarooq kid.
Right.
This guy is just. He is different level. He's that good.
Yeah.
I've just been blown away by him.
I've never seen a big guy like that move as quick as he does, doing the springboard moonsault.
There's
off
something
the top
about
rope.
these Islanders that just make
Wow. You know.
The last name is Fatu. You've got a good shot that you're going to be a wrestler, and a damn good one at that. All right. 1 second. Got you here. And then might be our last one.
Yeah.
Thank you. So before the question, just quick funny note. Acolyte is a Greek word, and it's mostly known in the Catholic Church as someone who assists the clergy. And I bring that up because I went to a very strict Catholic grade school where spelling counted on our tests. And 1 week after we took a test, my teacher stood in front of the class and said, "How did each of you know how to correctly spell acolyte?" So thanks to you, an entire class got an extra point on that test.
See how that works? You can thank God.
Yep. Yeah, it was because of you guys, because you're in the Attitude Era. So you guys helped that class. So, yeah. A question I have, the year 1996, big year for me in terms of like watching and loving it. And two particular matches in your career. I know you've had so many of these, so something may not stand out, but just as a fan, had to ask. John, during the Justin Hawk Bradshaw days, there were two matches I remember during the summer of '96 that stood out. One, Jake the Snake Roberts in the King of the Ring tournament, and the other, the debuting Freddie Joe Floyd, who was the legendary Tracy Smothers. And Ron, your match that fall against Mark Marrow, who you spent time with, you know, during WWE's Johnny B. Bad, and I think that was one of the Intercontinental Tournament matches. So I'm just wondering if you have any particular memories of any of those bouts.
Yeah, I'll tell you about Jake first. You know, I wrestled Jake in the King of the Ring, and I, you know, Jake's a terrific legend, incredible mind. It was a real honor to be out there with him. But I will say this, you know, Jake was doing kind of a religious gimmick at the time. That's where the Austin 316 thing came up, because Jake was doing this religious gimmick, and that's where Steve came up with Austin 316. So if Jake doesn't beat me in King of the Ring, if I beat Jake, whether Steve beats me or not, Austin 316 never happens. Oh, wow. So I'm completely responsible for Stone Cold Steve Austin and the entire Attitude Era.
Yes,
that's right.
You know,
It's no longer John Bradshaw Layfield.
Yeah.
It's
going to take that credit. That's right. Yeah, it's going to take that credit.
Your new name is the Butterfly Effect. The Butterfly Effect, Layfield.
No more, you know, sitting back now being subtle. Just take that credit for us, right?
Well, that's the one thing I love the most about him is his humility. Of course.
But no, man, working with Mark Marrow, right? Well, and that earlier in his career, you know, would have been Johnny B. Bad, you know, and which was, by the way, fantastic. If I'd had my way, he would have continued along the lines with Johnny B. Bad, because he was fantastic, all right, with that character. Okay, and I think it kind of diminished him a little, right, when he came up to WWF with that watered down version of it, right? If it had stayed with that, there were so many ways you could have played off of that with him, you know, right? But no, I enjoyed working with him at that time, right? Yeah.
Loved him. I sometimes wonder if he would have went there without a valet, had his career been a little bit different.
Yeah, see if he'd stayed with that character.
Yeah, that was a great character. I love Johnny B. Bad.
Yeah, I think
sorry,
the
go
big
ahead.
thing is if he had gone there with Dusty.
Yes, absolutely.
Dusty helped create that Johnny
Exactly.
B. Bad. Dusty knew it.
Exactly.
And WWE didn't know it.
Right.
Is Dusty the greatest creative mind of all time?
Well, he close. Man, it was good.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
right. Because that's especially for like Gen Xers and a little bit younger. That's all we've ever heard is just how Dusty like taught everybody everything, and just everyone has so much
Amazing.
love for him. Yeah, Oh, amazing. Did you guys have anyone else aside from Dusty that was kind of on that level for you?
Oh my God, man! Myself, right? I've had, like I said, man, I really came in at a fantastic time, right? I can just recall when I'm back starting in Florida. My God, I had Ron Bast on the card. You had, my God, Barry Windham,
right?
Jesus Christ, Wahoo McDaniels. I mean, Dusty Rhodes. It's endless when I look back at it, right? And the foundation that I had. The good fortune of being around those guys, right, and learning from them, it is unbelievable,
Yeah, and I got to, when I broke in Texas, Skandar Akbar was a huge influence on my life.
Right.
I got to tag with Murdoch and Bob Orton Jr., Randy's dad, which was a huge deal for me. Mr. Sakurada is the one who taught me my clothesline in Japan. I got to work with Tenru. And, of course, Finley and Tony St. Clair in Europe. I had some really great mentors.
Yeah, and I hear with a lot of the younger wrestlers, Fit. That's kind of like the other Dusty,
People find, I don't know, I find this hard to believe. Fit was as good as I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
When
I've
he
never
was in
heard
Europe,
a bad word about him.
It was unbelievable. He drew money all over Europe.
And legitimate.
Yeah, and legitimate.
And his run with Hornswoggle. Yeah. It was so fun.
The hell
so
of
fun.
Hornswoggle.
So
I could hit him
fun.
with a trash can.
I saw that interview. All right. Well, this has been...
Hornswoggle was mad at me for years about that trash can spot until it turned into a GIF.
I think you got enough time for like a couple more.
Yeah, a couple more. I was going to get a couple more and then before the damn guy. Yeah, I got a couple more. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We'll come to you last, right? Just because the new guy here.
Thank you. In your primes, if you had to face a tag team today, who would you like to go against?
I can tell you right now who I'd like, and I don't know about Ron, the Usos.
Ooh.
Those kids are they're as good as I've ever seen.
You've already answered it for me.
I've seen tag teams for 40 years, and they're as good as I've ever seen.
Exactly.
I absolutely love that.
No question.
All right. We got a question right up here. And then we got enough time for another one if you like.
With all were there any non-wrestling projects that you guys liked? I mean, during the invasion aspect, it seems like wrestlers were everywhere. They were on Charmed, or they were on this other. Were there any of those projects that you liked?
As far as what?
Well, we did a project one time, and I don't know why it didn't take off. We had a fishing show that we thought was really good, and for some reason it didn't get picked up. We thought it would. We filmed a pilot for it. We thought it. We thought it was really good.
But then we later figured out what the problem could have been. Right? We couldn't quite grasp it when we were out there in the boat because we were just throwing the beers down. Then we figured it out after we both sat down and said, you know what? They probably canceled it because we wasn't catching shit.
Amazing.
Yeah, just because we suck at fishing. I don't know why we can't have a fishing show.
All right. I was given we're out of time. I am really sorry. This has been so much fun. But before we go, the pressure's on, sir.
You can keep the mic.
I go all Howard Finkel for you.
Damn.
Right? When he said that, I was like, that was. I looked over at the brothers and I'm like, which one of you was that? They're like, no, it was him. I was like, oh, all right. Guys, have you had fun here today? Have you learned lots? Let's hear for these two legends, the APA, John Bradshaw Layfield, the legend himself, Ron Simmons. APA.
Right back to the table. Right back to the table.
Thank you, guys.
I go where I want to go, and I watch what I want to watch, which is Fandom Spotlight. You should watch more. Have fun and follow your fandom, bub.